Hey everyone, it's Ann Stewart
and Erica Hagforth
here at the Quinn Stewart Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, and today's topic is
sewer scopes are in the eye of the beholder.
So stay tuned. So today's topic is all about sewer scopes are in the eye of the beholder. So what do we mean by that?
Well, and sewer scopes are definitely an inspection that I always recommend my buyers get. And basically, they take a camera and they run it down your sewer line out to the street where the city takes over responsibility. And we do that because in the Great Northwest, we have a lot of trees, we've got a lot of shrubbery, and those roots can get in and invade your sewer line. And sewer line repairs can be a little bit on the costly. And you never know until, your sewer line can be perfectly functioning, but if it's, these things kind of take time to accumulate, and you just want to know what the health of that line is when you're purchasing your property.
And we kind of see a varied amount of, sewer issues that come up. Some of the ones are like what?
So you can have bellies in your line, where maybe the grade isn't quite right, and so the water can stagnate, and, debris doesn't quite flush down the way it should. You can also have lips or where the
things get caught.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's not a clear pathway for everything to travel, which is what you see quite often as well. And then you can have root intrusion. So, like I said, we have all these lovely trees. Their roots can grow and they can enter the line where the junctions happen between different piping. So. Yeah. All of them can cause problems of, varied extent.
And you don't even know about it. Like, these things just, you don't realize every day you're using the restroom that something might be happening.
Something might be happening down below the ground. But, yeah, these things are happening, and over time they will eventually cause a problem. But, you could have a line that's functioning perfectly well, and then one day it's not going to, and that's going to be why.
And interestingly enough, it's not just older homes we see this. I think a lot of people have the perception, and years ago, we used to only do sewer scopes on really old homes, like 40, 50, 60 on up. And now we do them even on new construction, because we had a situation about a year ago, brand new construction, like the keys would be new to the buyer, and we did a sewer scope, and wouldn't you know, they laid the sewer line down, and it settled right after they did it. So the angle was actually too flat for that sewer to be able to be used. It was going to be causing a problem in the near future. So they actually had to dig up that area, relay the pipe down, get the angle right. So we do them religiously on all ages of home.
Yep. Any home, it's a cheap insurance policy to do. They run somewhere between $125 to $175.
Money well spent.
And your average, and I say average because, certain situations can be much more, but it's going to cost you about $5,000 to $8,000 to repair a sewer line. So definitely money well spent up front to see what you're getting yourself into.
So let's talk about something that recently you had made a good statement. We titled this, Sewer scopes are in the eye of the beholder, because Erica had a little situation, and we'll talk about that. It's a story of how, sometimes it's a little bit gray as to whether you want to fix a sewer line or not, because maybe it's never going to be an issue, maybe it's kind of an issue, maybe it's, in the eye of the person kind of looking at it. So what did you run into?
Yeah, so, have a listing, and, sewer report came back as it was failed. There was some root intrusion and, needing a spot repair. And that's great. And, we get these lovely videos, so we watch them. And to be perfectly frank, sometimes you watch them and you don't see the same thing. Yeah. So, obviously, this is always a sensitivity for buyers. They want to make sure that there's no issues at all. But, in terms of the severity of these sewer scopes, and, everybody wants to protect themselves, it's very easy for something minute that could never be a problem to get blown up and be asked to be repaired. So, it's prudent to maybe have several people look at something, experts. We aren't experts at sewers, but, we see a lot of them. So it really does run into a sensitivity thing. How sensitive is the buyer or the seller, and what can you do? But there's a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
A lot of gray matter.
Yeah. Sorry. And other matters. So we wanted to talk about this today because if you're a buyer or even if you're a seller, you can anticipate 90% of the time or 99% of the time that a buyer is probably going to take a camera down the sewer line, because they are responsible, or the homeowner is responsible for the maintenance of that line up until they get to the city main. So we have to talk about these crazy issues, and sometimes it is a little gray and sometimes it's very black and white. But it was a great point that Erica made this morning about, hey, you know, some of these sewer scopes can be in the eye of the beholder. So if you have any questions about sewer scopes, or you're looking to buy or sell, reach out to us. We're happy to help.
Bye.